Hey guys, doing a video on coral growth. This time it's going to be on my 60-gallon breeder that I set up back in August 2024. Right now at the recording it's February 2025. So this tank is using the ATI 6-bulb T5 with the Reef Brite Blue XHO add-on. This is the exact light schedule right here. So at 9 a.m. I have the Reef Brite Blue XHO come on. And at 10 a.m. I have channel 1, which is a ATI Blue Plus and an ATI True Actinic. At 11 a.m. channel 2 comes on, which is ATI Blue Plus, an ATI True Actinic, and 2 ATI Coral Plus. At 7 p.m. my ATI channel 2 goes off. At 8 p.m. my ATI channel 1 goes off. And at 9 p.m. my Reef Brite Blue XHO goes off. So it's a 12-hour light schedule with my Reef Brite Blue XHO kind of being that dusk dawn, my channel 1 being that morning and evening blue, and my channel 2 being my daylight hit for pop. Pop of par, that is, not necessarily pop of blue color, because I have a lot of white running in the midday. What you're seeing here in the background is a video of my tank shot on November 24th, 2024 to show the status of the tank, the coral size and whatnot, to kind of get a baseline for where we're going. I am measuring from November 24th, 2024 to February 10th, 2025. So we're going to see February 10th, 2025 here in a minute, and we are going to look at then a bunch of examples of corals to see the growth that has happened in that time. All right, so here we are, February 10th, 2025. This is 2.5 months of growth in the tank. And again, just looking right here, right out of the gate, you can see that WWC Yellow Tip Acro right there in the middle. It's just massively different. That thing grows like crazy. And as I'm kind of scrolling through the tank here, you can see everything. Everything has just made a drastic change. It's gotten much bigger in 2.5 months. The amount of growth I've seen in my SPS has been more than expected. So definitely pleased with the results I'm getting. Again, I'm running a 12-hour light schedule. The Reef Brite Blue XHO comes on at 9 a.m., goes off at 9 p.m. Channel 1 of my ATI T5 comes on at 10 a.m. and goes off at 8 p.m. and that is one ATI Blue Plus and one ATI True Actinic. And channel 2 comes on at 11 a.m. and goes off at 7 p.m. and that is one ATI True Actinic, one ATI Blue Plus, and 2 ATI Coral Plus. All right, so let's look at the WWC Yellow Tip Acropora here. So this is the piece I got. I bought a good size colony piece. It was big when I bought it. And here it is. You can see it's good size, and here is the growth. You can see it just grew like crazy. All kinds of new starts, all kinds of length on those branches. You can see it reaching out to my other corals. You can see it reaching to the top of the tank. And just every single one of those kind of, I'll call it smooth skinned branches, is no longer smooth skin. There are bumps everywhere. There are new starts everywhere. This thing is growing like a weed. I've already fragged it in that time that it's been in the tank. I just can't stop this thing from growing. That is a very good problem to have when you have a coral that you just have to say, I can't stop it from growing. That's a good problem. So this one here has just grown like crazy and continues to grow like crazy, and I frag it. So here's kind of a zoomed in look at the branches. Like I said, it was very smooth skin. You could see from those original pictures it was, and it is just not anymore. There are new starts coming out everywhere, and it is growing like crazy. So definitely very pleased with this one. Definitely very happy with the growth on it. It is doing extremely well. All right, next up here is the green branching Montipora. This guy's green branching with brown polyps. You can see it there. This is when it initially went into the tank. It was a good size piece. It was a colony, definitely put it in. And here it is now. You can see, just look at that one branch that's sticking off the front. It grew it much longer. You can see the width of it. If you look at that top kind of head area, it has just gotten much wider. There's tons of new starts, and it is growing like crazy. It is branching out, and it is getting wider and growing. And then here we got the red branching Montipora. And you can see here's the frag that I put in to start. Had a couple nice little branches. And here it is now, and all those branches have grown. They've reached out, and definitely it's gotten much bigger. You can see the length of it there, the height of it there, the width of it there. This thing has grown like crazy. Looking at the Cherry Corals Emerald Fire Digitata. This was a little 1-inch frag. You can see how small it is there. And again, from another angle, you can just see how tiny it was. And it has now grown very nicely. It is much bigger. This one has grown much more than I expected. You can see the nice color on the skin with the red polyps, and it has branched out. Each end of those branches are growing fingers, and it is doing very well. The growth on this is much more than I expected. So the next one up here is a PC Rainbow Acropora. This one I wasn't going to include because it stalled out major when I put it in the tank. It didn't do anything for a long time. This was the one that you saw in my pest video that just came in with tons of pests. I had to pull it off the frag plug. It had Aptasia on it. It had worms in it. And I had to pull it off the frag plug and really clean it up. I snipped at it. So it went through a lot of stress going into the tank, and it stalled out. But you can see after a short stall out, I took it off a 1-inch frag plug and put it on a disc. And it has now totally encrusted that disc and is starting new sprouts off. And the one thing I really want to point out on this is it acclimated in and colored up very nicely. So now we have the Hellfire Torch here. This was one that started off as just 2 little heads there. You can see I got 2 heads, and it has just popped out heads like crazy. So there it is again, going into the tank, and here it is now. You can just see all those heads now. I counted it when the lights were off and kind of shook it to make the heads close, and I had 9 there. And the Dragon Soul Torch, kind of the same situation. I bought, I'll call it 2.5 heads. There was 2 heads there. One was kind of looking like it was splitting a little bit. And this one, the same thing. So just 2.5 months underneath that light, and you can see all those heads now. So this one, again, I kind of shook under when it was dark to get it to close up really nicely, and I counted 8 heads. So 2 heads to 8 heads in 2.5 months on a torch. I'm very pleased with that, very happy with that. I also want to kind of point out the coloration difference. You can see it did change a little bit more on the coloration difference. You can see the stems kind of closer in, and then the gold on the ends. There's a lot more contrast from when it first went in the tank. So the color up difference was a lot more. And then also on that Hellfire Torch, if you were to look at the original one and the end one, the polyp extension was much more. So very pleased with the growth and the progress of my torches. All right, so looking at this gold hammer here, this was one that I had in another video. I got it from another hobbyist. It was a big colony, like 37 heads, 35 heads, something like that. It was a lot. And I trimmed a bunch and sold it, and that's what I trimmed it down to. And here's what it looks like now. Sorry, this is with white lights, but that's when it was open the biggest. And there's just a ton more heads. You can just see all the heads that grew and packed in there. This thing has at least doubled itself. I didn't go and count the heads, but you can visually see from the initial picture to this one, it is at least double in size. And then we have these red speckled zoanthids. I started with this tiny little frag plug right here. It was a nice little encrusted frag plug, but here we go now. It has grown and taken over and owned that area. This is a pretty fast growing one. I really like the long eyelashes around the zoa there and that nice speckled red center. So definitely taking up some room, but they look really nice under these lights. So not mad about them spreading so quickly. And then I have this Cherry Corals Creamsicle plate. This thing's very pretty. Sorry, these pictures when I first got it aren't that great. This thing has some amazing color and is very pretty. These are pictures when I first got it. And I want you to notice right here its size in relation to that frag disc there. So here it is now, definitely much bigger. Extensions, you can see the colors a lot more under this lighting. I think the pictures when I first got it were just poor because it did look this pretty when I first put it in as well. And it is a very nice looking plate. Look here again against that frag disc. It has changed in size drastically. It was tiny compared to that frag disc, and now it's much bigger than that frag disc. So this thing grew like crazy, very happy with that. The size is growing very fast. In 2.5 months, this thing is like doubled in its size. So very pleased. All right, so hopefully you like this video. Hopefully it gives you an idea on some coral growth you can expect under your ATI T5 Lite. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, check out some more of my content, and I'll get more out soon. Thanks, guys.